So we've been getting more and more questions from young men, which I'm very happy about. Send us
Yes.
your questions. We
It's
love
always
it.
We want to educate the boys as well as the girls.
And there was an interesting one this week. A young man wrote in and asked, how can he stop watching pornography? And what we know from the research is that pornography taps into the male instinct to impregnate as many women as you can. So
That's actually biology.
it's biology to ensure the species lives on. So when you're watching those online porn with all those little clips, it's endless variety.
It's happened to me.
It's not like when you went to a movie theater to watch a porn film.
No,
Or had to go and...
That took effort. You had to go out. You had to pay your fee.
And there was no variety.
You're sitting at home.
And you can watch
Endless variety. Very tempting. So how do you stop? It's all right. It's an addiction. I don't want to censor porn, but these young guys have got to learn to control it. I mean, it's like
drugs or alcohol or food. We control what we eat and what we consume for health.
If you want to stop something, you have to become conscious that you want to stop it, that you don't want to be hooked on it. Now, when these kids write in and they say, I can't come unless I watch porn.
Not true.
Whoa.
Not true. Now, you made an interesting point when we were discussing this topic. You said, it's like when I decided to stop drinking. I made a decision.
Or to stop smoking I mean, that's for me the heaviest addiction.
That's the hardest.
That really drove me crazy. So I made a decision, and so when the desire comes up, I simply say to myself, I no longer do that. And you have to find something to put in its place.
Which would be?
Well, let's see, for sex.
Fantasy?
I would think reading about sex and creating your own images. If you can't come up with your... See, now these are young kids. They don't have a background of experience.
Where they can imagine a sexual experience with somebody.
Your ideal... I don't know how to say this. Your ideal your ideal situation, your ideal date, your ideal woman, your ideal man, whatever. So this is part of the creative process. Fantasy is the heart of the creative process. So we're all just sitting there, consume.
It's like the Feelies, right? 1984. It's exactly what they said would happen.
You have to feel for me because I don't know how to feel. Or I don't know how to visualize. Or I can't think of anything. I can't use my creative energies.
My thing was always I would flirt with someone that I liked, and it was like that. And then I would take it home and imagine what we could do together.
Exactly. Or you have a date with someone, and this is for us when I was younger, is that we would be necking, and getting hot and all that stuff, and then I would go home and go up into my bedroom and close the door and go and replay it, and
in your mind,
and then go all the way in my fantasy. Or it's the other thing you can do is if you've had a bad experience with sex, go replay it
and make it positive.
Turn it into what you wanted to have happen. So if you have a nightmare, like I say, just rerun it, but then shift it so that it's what you want.
And I think that's really important for young women.
Yes, and men.
I was always a daydreamer, and I daydream now, and I imagine what I want to have happen, and then I imagine things that didn't go the way I wanted, but I rewrite the ending, like you say.
Yeah.
And like in Mine World, it all worked out.
Rewrite the ending. I had a boner, and it lasted for an hour, and we did every position in the world, and
I ejaculated buckets of cum.
The mind is a very, very powerful instrument, and the creative impulse is as powerful. And if we're just going to sit and consume it, be like a foodie, a food addict, or an alcoholic, or a cigarette addict, it's just... And
it's compulsive. You don't get anything out of it.
It's not what you want. It's not feeding you. It's not helping you. It's not doing anything for you except keeping you addicted. So kids, come on. Use your brain. Use your imagination. Use your own imagery. Make up your own scenarios.
Play.
Be creative. Yes. And if you every now and then you want to look at porn,
it's fine.
No big deal. If you're doing it several times a day, every single day, and you have to have it in order to have an orgasm when you masturbate, Serious. That's a problem. So look at it and do something about it. All right, now go masturbate without porn.
You heard her.